But, okay, so Trial by Fire is the first book in the World Walker trilogy. And it is a book about witches in a parallel universe. And when I first pitched this idea to my agent, I talked for 25 minutes, like, okay, it's about witches, but it's also about parallel universes, so it's kind of like fantasy and science fiction. I talked for 25 minutes going on. And finally I wore her out, and she just went, oh, Josie, just write it. She's like, just write it, I'll read it when it's done, and then get it to me.
So today I want to tell you about a book called Trial by Fire, which is the very, very new book by Josephine Angelini. It is the first book in the World Walker series, and it just came out on September 2nd. So it is brand spanking new. Now, I had pre-ordered it about maybe a week before it came out, and somehow I ended up getting it on the 1st of September instead of the 2nd, and I started reading it right away. And I absolutely loved it. Like, I'm slowly getting out of my reading slump that I've been in for way too long, and it is books like this that make me want to be happy about reading again, because it is just so amazing. It is not like anything I've read before, and it is just amazing. So without giving away any spoilers, basically the world we're talking about here, it's a world where multiple universes exist this close to each other but never touching, and you're not really supposed to cross over from a universe to a universe. But basically how this world started, it started off together, and then kind of like branches of a tree, it kind of split into multiple universes, because every decision we make, like whether we choose this or that, it splits into two universes, and one universe continues with that choice and another universe continues with the other choice, and there are infinite number of universes. And here in this book we're dealing with two specific universes. One of them is ours, contemporary, our world, where everything is as we know it, and the other universe, the major thing that sort of changed with that universe is during the witch hunts in Salem, Massachusetts, instead of hanging the witches as we did in our universe, they burned them. And while burning those witches, it turned out that some of them are actually firewalkers, and instead of dying in the fires, they were able to kind of focus the energy differently and basically take over the world. So this other world is run by witches and magic, and everything, basically all the principles of magic that they have, we have them in our world, but in the form of science. And it's a really beautiful blend of science and magic that I love this. And the way it's explained, I can't even speak, because that is how much I love this book. But it almost makes sense, like all the magic stuff that they do, it's just, they kind of make sense because they're rooted in the same principles that our science is rooted in. If that makes any sense at all, I'm not sure that it does, but the point is, it's an amazing world. As for the plot, basically the book follows Lily, who is from our universe, and in our universe she is always sick. Her body is really weak, and she has allergies. She's basically allergic to everything there ever is. She's always in the hospital, always getting hives, and always like, it's not good. And she honestly doesn't think that she's gonna make it very much longer. But then something happens. She gets kidnapped by her own self in this other universe where the magic exists. And then in that other universe, she's not a powerless weakling anymore. Over there, all the stuff that makes her weak in our universe is actually what gives her power, because she has powers there, and it's really awesome. And that is all I'm going to tell you about it, because I don't want to spoil it too much. So basically it is An amazing book. It's kind of like sci-fi and witchcraft and alternate universes, and I love it. It's a beautiful, beautiful partnership of everything. And the thing is, this is only the first book. It's going to be a trilogy. The next book comes out in 2015, and then the third book comes out in 2016, and I don't want to wait that long, but you know, sometimes you just gotta wait. Speaking of, I actually just went to a signing today at Barnes & Noble at the Grove, where Josephine Angelini came, and I met her. She is so sweet. She's like the nicest person ever. And she talked about the book a little bit, answered some questions, and then she signed my book. So that's pretty awesome. It was an amazing event, and the Grove, I've never actually been there before. It's so charming and quaint. It's awesome. Also, she brought cupcakes. I mean, who doesn't like cupcakes? So that was pretty cool of her. And I didn't really film all of it. I started to, but then I ran out of space because I only had my phone with me. So I didn't really film all that much, but I was there and it was amazing. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. So definitely go read the book. You won't be sorry, unless you don't like this kind of genre. But personally, I mean, if you like fantasy and magic and sci-fi and science and just epicness, you should pick this up.
I watch the flames rise around me and hear the wood of the pyre pop and groan. Even though I'm prepared for this, the fear I feel is unavoidable. No matter how strong you think you are, fire has a way of bypassing rational thought. It talks directly to your skin. Your brain never enters into the conversation. Heat builds around me, and the fire begins to eat into my flesh. Yes, fire has teeth, and it chews at you like a living, breathing animal. It even roars like an animal. When you're in its mouth, you have to fight for air. Fire, like a lion, likes to suffocate its prey. The flames rise, and I twist and scream, trying to get away, but the iron shackles on my wrist keep me bound to the stake. I'm a witch, and witches burn.